Am I right, Shai? Am I right? Am I right?
I don't know. Spam something. I mean, drop a. I don't know what they need. I'm at a loss for words. I wish that airdrops came with vehicles or something to help these guys out. Like, can chat manifest wheels and axles, and gasoline and metal to I don't know what composition cars are made out of, but
chat can do anything.
True.
Don't doubt chat. Chat can do anything.
Sometimes they do too much.
Yeah, that is true.
But it's nice that they can actually have the ability now, you know what I mean? It's a...
Yeah, well, actually, right, the actual secret story, right, I'm not supposed to tell you this, but the secret story behind that is that, like, Zeke just accidentally turned it on and, like, he forgot and nobody noticed. Yeah, so...
Classic Zeke, bro. It's just...
we actually have to keep it low-key, otherwise someone might notice and fix it.
Be able to, just like Hen, solo this one again.
And you can see Hen, he's looking up at height. I'm sure, you know, he's upset. He would have wished he could actually do something about it there. But you can see a max zone. He's going to have to try and recycle this pad at some point. He's got 4 floppers, which will allow him to stay in the zone a bit, wait for those players to use it as he goes for himself. But this is really tough. The pad is an absolute lifesaver.
Does he have time?
But even then, he'll get in, but even then, he's such low HP. Needs to get landed. And the floppers are huge. Wow, long shot, you can't just hold it as a solo here. He's going to have to try and make a play at some point. Even then, it's not enough. He goes down, and Pink as well. Another game, another solo clutch for the young one. 23rd at the moment, or 23 teams in the game at the moment. Was able to get 8th last time. Will he be able to match that or even do a bit better? And Nas will certainly hope so.
It's all about the mantles, all about making sure that whenever you knock on a box, you're not going to be doing it on the front side of it. Big shot and goes to the piece. Unfortunately, needed the spray. Pink is down and out of the way at 22nd.
Yeah, and bad snap and DKS now have made a play for height. They're sitting up above. Tayson and Chapek's a team that went for it last game. They do still have a pad, and so maybe that'll be an option. I'm sure they'll look to scout it once they use it. But Zone is pulling up towards that northeast, and so they've got to make their move. And quickly, you can see Tayson looking for an opportunity to place that pad, and he sees height. And he's scouting it, he's looking at it, he knows he can block it down. It's only on 1 wall. What are they doing? Why did they only use 1 wall to hold up height? They've knocked it down. Can he take it or can he claim it? It doesn't seem like it. They weren't able to hit any big shots. And so now it's just going to be about being on the move, trying to stay ahead of the zone, getting to that front side, building up. And now they realize that their height is truly theirs. Another game where Tayson and Chapek have just been almost seemingly allowed to have height for not much whatsoever. And you can see I dropped in the back of the zone. He's on such low HP. It doesn't really feel like he's going to have a say on whether or not they keep it. But DKS and Bad Snapper, who were on it, I don't know how they weren't able to reinforce it better, but at least they're still in the game. At least they still have a fighting chance, and that's what they have to do here now that they've dropped down to the mid-ground layers.
They're trying to on the other side. There's Axe Force, who was going for the height for a second when the zones first started moving. So these are all the residual duos who failed to achieve the trophy of the maximum spot up top that Chapek and Tayson have right now. Podesai and Snazy went down early in that first game. Finally thriving now. Podesai getting a few eliminations, way more than a few. 6 for the big man, and a big shot too, denied with a window. That was clean from him. 7 rolling, 9 for the team, 3 for Tayson, and Chapek's up top. They're ready to make it all the way to that last spot and get this VR.
Yeah, and Zone pulling towards the north, back over towards Rocky. Means all these teams are going to have to keep on burning through the materials. It'll give Tayson and Chapek a chance to get some eliminations. Podesai, who barely snuck in, I believe they qualified through to this in 50. If they will go down, not much they can do. You can see he was running on bare bones, and Kiro in the back of the zone with a med mist that's slowly running out. Eventually he's going to have to force his way in and hit a big shot as well to match it.
He's going to be right in the sight lines of that high ground team. A long, winding road with no cover down below. As soon as you touch dirt, that's where the pressure starts to ramp up. Meanwhile, the sunny heat from up top, the beams are just going down over and over again. Chapek and Tayson are not stopping any of the pressure. As a result, everyone down low, no materials at all. Satan Darkest looking for their shot to have a little bit of low ground control, but they're not finding much at all.
But you can see how long it took all these teams to get any form of control, right? All these teams left on low ground, they are just in such difficult positions. I'm sure Tayson and Chapek are laughing up above, right? They saw nobody even trying to build out to claim it. They know it's only a matter of time until their moment. They have to just stay connected. They can't afford to fumble it now. But if they can just stay up and really capitalize on just how weak the rest of these teams are, they really have a chance of getting their revenge, getting a victory royale. Satan in. Darkies, they'll have to do their best to stop it. No materials here on Satan. The reinforced walls will come through, but at what point is that going to be enough? The zone's going to continue to pull, and you guys have to leave those boxes, and swiftly. If they just leave going into the open, Tayson and Chapix ain't going to miss these shots. You know they're going to hit them. Tayson does, but he gets knocked himself. Chapix now in the zone. He gets some finishes, and that's going to be good in terms of the refreshes. But what do we have here? What do we have here? It's the Heal-Off team. It's the Heal-Off team against Chapix. He still has a flop it left. Chapix so in the zone. It doesn't seem like he's going to be in much trouble. But I believe Benjyfishy might have some more heals left. You can see him running towards a pile. It's not.
And he drops it all down. He understands there wasn't enough time. There was one team left. But Vontrix does.
Try pick up some tags, maybe even some eliminations on the way, and then wait for the last possible moment to pad up. Make sure that they're the highest in the sky in order to claim that high ground once they can get close to the zone.
We saw how they did it in game 2. When everyone padded, they took some extra damage and went for a repeat pad. That's how they just had that free height.
Yeah, we're seeing that come through now. All these teams moving their way, and you can see Chapix in the top of your screen, right? He's looking backwards, making sure he's pressurizing teams, and then clearing the pathway for that launch pad to come through. The team was actually running over their box, so they've got to be a bit careful, right? But the pad will come out, a high pad, and you'll see again, they'll be looking at it, they'll be figuring out whether or not they can take it. It looks relatively well enforced. It'll be interesting to see who it was up there, and it is an SM Pink. And that's why it's harder to take. They enforced it much better than we saw in the last game. It's not just on the one wall. And from this point onwards, can these guys continue to hold it out? Pink reinforcing it, making sure it's connected. But they have to make sure that they pressure the teams on second height. Don't allow any of them to actually get a chance to even look up to try and take it from you. iDrop and Jerky will pad in the back of the zone, and they're looking to land on high. They want to get it. They're landing up there, and a fight's breaking out, I'm sure. Floki all by himself on low ground. As you can see, iDrop and Jerky have taken it. The big drop has high ground in this game. And we saw them in this position before. Can they hold on to it?
Round 2.
It's a big question.
Second team all the way in. He's going for it. Screwy takes it and maybe even drops him off. T-Chips is now also going straight for height. And Us is back. Round number 3. We're going for the third instance of this fight. Making them have to give it up just slightly for the moment. Still very strong on mats entirely too. It's a break. And iDrop and Jerky still have control.
Yeah, we're seeing iDrop and Jerky. But how much longer? You can see Anas, he's trying to break it out. They're not pressuring him enough. They're allowing him to just chop it. And if they continue, they might have it for themselves. Are we going to see a bit of a Anas piece right now? Right now, Pink's the one doing the big damage, and then Anas can actually take it down to wood, but that'll be all right because iDrop and Jerky have not happened to be able to keep it. iDrop actually will go down. I don't know if Jerky will follow him, but Pink and Anas take it for themselves.
That's just huge. And while all this commotion's going up top with builds, the bullets are flying down below. Snazy, 6 eliminations. We saw Floki for the moment before as well. He had 6. These solo pop-offs are insane on the low ground. I'm looking at where Tayson and Chapix are, but I don't see a second orange light. So he might have gone down at some point. It's just Tayson, so there is no fifth high ground retake. Pink and Anas have it for now.
But we've seen Tayson have solo clutches before. One of the best solo players to ever grace this game. And so this will be his chance to show why everyone crowns him with that title.
Floki's still alive and still getting a few eliminations all the way on low ground. Shizo finally going down, but his teammate also still up. So many high point performances are still active inside this game. Grohl's rolling in second place overall, looking to take the lead from Tayson, who's alive right now. 2 solo players have the lead, kind of the first place spot, the podium on their hands for the midpoint of the tournament. Seeing exactly what he can do. Art skill right below Tayson as well. He's gonna have to go through a duo. He's pinched on both sides before he's allowed to play this game. He has to get rid of 1. 7 teams all in an impasse. Tayson with a big 117, but there's way too many avenues to look at. He gets caught in the crossroads.
Yeah, no potential to play in the zone and outlast teams with any heals. He just had to get right into the thick of it, but he couldn't handle it. Way too many people down there. Grohl's was one of them, but how long will it be till Grohl's actually follows Tayson back to the lobby? You can see he's trying to stay up. 52 HP. Doesn't have any potential to play in the zone, so he has to just stay in here and hope that nobody manages to find anything onto him. But right now, Anas and Pink, they've got easy pickings down below, but do they know it? They need to get involved. Watch a shot from Grohl's. Can he hit another one? He can't. He goes down. But you can see Pink will follow him down as he drops down, trying to pick up these final eliminations. It's been such a clean game for them. Round after round, they went for height, and they have the endurance. They go the distance. They win the game.
All the way up top, but they built a little bit of a ramp for anyone who's daring enough to kind of come up and take it. I called it a little bit, but everyone has their own focus on making it to the front portion of the zone. Tayson and Chapix too are just making sure taking off anyone down below. They finally look up and see this monstrosity of a build. Tayson's like, okay. They find another pad that's even closer. How did he even think and hear or see it? This man is just, I don't know how it has 8 eyes and 17 ears. Tayson finds a perfect path all the way in. This is all impromptu. Met up with Chapix as well, who found his own way into the zone from this side. Insane the way these guys just see the way the builds move in the zone.
We talked about how Creasy and Hen would take the opportunity, but they've actually been forced down. I drop in Jerky, the big drop, taking another shot at high ground. Can this finally be the game when they're able to hold on to it? I don't want to speak too soon, but we'll see. Shizo and Grolls, the first place team at the moment. We know how dominant they've been able to be on mid and low ground, but can they continue up that pace? Grolls actually will go down. They're below on Surge, and so things are looking really difficult for these guys in their attempt to keep that hot first place spot.
Not even in a good clutch spot right now. Whenever you're a solo player, you want to take your teammates mass, the utility they have, every option you have is at your disposal as a team. But unfortunately, Grolls was full piece. No chance for Shizo to get back into that box. He's going to have to work with just what he's got, which is half the power of the duo completely. So going for a little bit of rattling damage on the walls, but doesn't find any connections from this layer so far. Has to drop down soon, but as soon as he does, his mats will melt. He only has about 5 boxes to make. This is your first place positions POV on the top right of your screen. Meanwhile, Jerky and iDrop on the left side still did take everything all the way from height. Knazy and Podesai ready to ramp up down bottom. They're one of the most powerful duos we see so far. On the bottom right, they're now moving free, getting ahead of the zone, looking for their positions. Shizo stuck on the backside, has a chance for a few floppers left and right, and going for a sidewinder pump shot. That's going to be huge for him, but drops down with the improper timing. One more flopper to take his desperation, but he goes down, and now it's a chance possibly for Chapix to wrap back and take that first place spot. As I say that though, Queasy still alive, and this man is in a world of hurt. He's feeling that pain, still moving right past it and surviving so far in the zone.
Yeah, and there was a med miss down there. That's going to be huge, right? He already had one in his inventory, but if he has any hope of making some sort of crazy solo clutch, the med miss will be huge. Just seeing Snazy realizing that for himself as well. He needs that to stay in this game. The zone's actually going to pull back towards him, and that's going to be huge, right, for Snazy and Podesai. Can they claim and take control of low ground as it pulls down this little hill here as well? This is going to be a crucial moment for them in their pursuit of a win.
Chapix still alive though, getting a few picks inside that feed. iDrop and Jerky also taking apart duo after duo all the way up top. It's a duo that's also alive in that first place spot. Tayson and Chapix meeting hand in hand inside their builds. Relvis was down to Chapix before, and Krusty gets found out by Tayson galore. It's huge for this duo right now, and they pick up the mats as well. They're ready to go. Look at the space they have left. This must be their game.
Yeah, this is easy as pie for Tayson and Chapix. They run this layer, but how many more can they dominate? They want it all right now.
Easy as pie, but they're crunched like a pastry inside that mid ground as well. It's going to be tough for them to move through the sauce. Meanwhile, Podesai and Snazy, 360 degrees of pressure, and somehow they're making sense of it. Move past on their own lair. Jerky and iDrop actually start to tighten things down from high ground. Looking down below, they have the med-miss opportunity as well as the harpoon. It's all wood builds. It big piece takes. It's on the Chapix too. He's at half HP. Tayson desperate to move inside these boxes, but Jerky's moving forward to have even more pressure. All walls controlled, but Tayson finds a little bit of reprieve, some escape. This man is just too fast. He has permanent sprint mode on, and Jerky loses him.
Yeah, Jerky had to be careful there. Needs to reload his weapons, right? You can go down to take fights, but you need to make sure you're well equipped. Tayson will go down. That's our first place team, and so the battle is not done. Snazy will go at it. Podesai now left alone. Snazy gets knocked in, so a clutch potential here for Podesai. Can he drop down in the right amount of time? Jerky is still up, right? He's playing. It looks like he's a solo, but no. iDrop, his teammate, is still there. The elimination finally comes through, and so it's a 2v2. Well, actually, no, there's more teams in this one. My bad, Ryzen down below. He has a handful to deal with. Hookah will come through. His teammate, his orgmate, running into him, and he deals with that. Jerky now not done with the battle himself. He needs to be careful because Podesai hits hard and hits heavy. iDrop now trying to clean up for what his teammate couldn't do. Can he take Podesai out in this moment? You can see how difficult it is. The zone is closing Podesai away. He's tanking that damage, and iDrop is able to just stay up and wait as the zone continues to take Zeston all the way down below. He needs to make use of his med miss. He needs to get his HP up while he can before it's too late. Podesai, well, just an inch of HP. It might be too late for him as well if he's not careful.
He's found corn and bandages as well. This man's ready to go. All iDrop has is 120 HP of that med miss to use. Someone's about to lock in. Zeston's already started to take a little bit of the damage on the backside. Does iDrop have enough heals? Can he find Zeston as well? Now he understands what's going down. If he doesn't get shot a little bit, he might take that fall damage too all the way towards the floor, but they're both gonna go for the heals. Who has it? It's iDrop. This man is too healthy. This man is too powerful. He overheats in that 8th zone, gets so many eliminations. There's a reality where that spray from Moa hits, and this game goes so different. You see the mats that were put down were all from Groves beforehand as well. Shizo has the majority of them. Then the 1 HP Shizo has the utility, it's all on Shizo. The elims, the momentum from this game, are riding on this man who got in with a sliver. And right now we look at who else is not allowed to play. Edison down, and I'm seeing Mappy pick up another elimination. This man is really rolling with the pressure and the momentum this game. I want to see exactly what their duo is about. Belusi and Hydro up against Malibuka and Mustache, who've made it here too. A team where, once again, I feel like they just hyperscale when they get into these games. The later it goes, the stronger they get.
Though we talked about it, right? Being able to make the most of your opportunities in the game so you have them, especially when you can just not spawn. And we'll see how they play. You can see the zone pulling back towards the fortress to that west side, going over some elevation as well. And we'll see how these teams deal with that. Juriki and iDrop up on height, they'll be uber aware of what they have to do and if they can sort of climb up and beat that battle. Shizo and Groves have their eyes on some pads, and you'll see they wait one out and it finally does get to them. And so now they can make their way towards that first zone. And this is going to be a huge game for them if they want to secure that spot in the top 5. They're in second and they can take first. iDrop and Juriki in the back of the zone, finally taking their pad. We're recycling one, making sure they're the highest up in the sky, and they can land back on high ground where they most are comfortable. And Relvis and Krusty, another team that's done very brilliantly, but on lower layers. And maybe this is why, sneaking in the back of the top, doing some damage there, Relvis. We're not getting too greedy, not overextending, just staying in this game with his teammate by him.
The way they're moving on the top right now, Relvis and Krusty are on your screen. I mean, this was like a secret spy mission. Box to box, mantling over different layers, and as the pressure escalates, so does the low ground in the zone. We're kind of moving up mountains and then jumping across right and left. It is Belusi and Hydro that have height for now. Juriki is ready with iDrop to maybe go for that big jump. They have the potential on the mats to be able to do it, but the space might be running out. There's so many different types of mountains in the way, and now we're even moving even more north in this zone. Juriki down with so much damage needed to be got, and iDrop actually falls. This is going to be huge for the potential for this duo. They get fragmented in half. Juriki still has the power to take down everyone in his lair. It's his space, and you cannot invade.
Juriki hitting some big shots there. This is his time to solo clutch. You won't be able to do it from a height just yet, but if he can stay in this game, that will be huge. They are just outside of that top 5. Shizo! Oh my goodness! Hitting some huge shots in that moment. Keeping his team in the game. Groves isn't there, but he certainly is. 4 elimination. He has all of his team's eliminations up to this point, and he might not be done yet if he can keep hitting shots like that.
Everyone now fragmented. There's a huge cost in moving that zone. Height has lost their partner all the way down towards the low ground. It's just solo games. Meanwhile, Mustache, Malibuka, they stay just together, unsegmented, ready to go up towards that second height layer. And Mustache, there it is. Here's the POV. They're just rattling down. It's the effects of a minigun almost, the way these guys are utilizing the pressure. They're so good, and they have so much space to work with.
Pre-edit plays in the end game. These guys have unlimited confidence. They are reaching ultimate levels of comfortability in this lobby right now, and that's going to be a big problem for anybody that gets in their way.
Potential with the 6 chuck splashes available as well. They have so much to work with all towards the end. Oh my goodness, it's 12, 13 in Mustache's inventory. He has the loadout of gods right now for this position. The best possible place he can be in with the best loot as well. No one else really realizes it. Juriki now out of fuel, out of ammo, out of everything in terms of a position, and he's lost in the low ground too. Everything's starting to move up. Mustache and Malibuka basically on the perfect layer. Everyone else squeezed, can't breathe. All the way here in low ground. Relvis and Questy have a little bit of a pocket of air to kind of work with. Darker going down, but this is where pressure really starts to ride up.
Yeah, and this is going to be tough, right? They didn't have enough mats to be able to close teams off as they went up the hill. And so they're just going to have to go back into the zone, use all those chug splashes they have. And this might be huge. They might actually be able to outplay this. Rising in Painter, though, they're suspicious. They know that there's a team in the zone. And so they need to be uber aware of anybody trying to take it. Malabuka Mustache, they've actually low padded back into the zone. They've got a bit of mats to hold on to, but they're now trying to fight for height. They need to be careful. Is it going to be too early? Can they actually hold on? The chug splashes are dwindling, but their shots are hitting. They now have height. They forced them off, and this is their game for the taking. They want to do another one.
What a way to get that high ground. Big shots on the backside from Mustache. Malabuka's there with the wrap down. It's like watching an arm and a hand work together at the same time. They're reading each other's minds on these takes. As a result, though, Max3 pushed down towards the low. He always hits those big shots. Mustache and Malabuka are there. They want to win this game single-handedly by themselves. Malabuka now low for the moment. There'll be a cost to this fight. Krusty melts in the zone. What a way to own a VR. Mustache and Malabuka are...
Are they even going to be able to play for height in the way that they want to with what they're working with?
iDrop was at 100 metal before and low brick. He just got fully refreshed right there and swapped out the green burst for a mythic. That might be a big change.
You can see Mustache. He's waiting for someone to pad, and it's just not coming. He has his own, but he just wants to use somebody else's, eventually making that decision to drop the pad themselves.
Chapix
Not
and
wanting to
Tayson
take
on
any
heights.
risks. Yes, Chapix and Tayson. I said I wanted to see them back up here. And look, they might look comfy in terms of qualification, but they won't be satisfied with that. They want first place, and I want it for them as well.
Chapix finding a few knocks already off on that high ground. Jerky iDrop moving in, but the finish line for them is getting further and further away. Zandy, who's right ahead of them, has found one knock already inside the feed, so that pressure rise, hit your shot playstyle, already going good for the duo in 5th place on that bubble. Jerky fall from 6th to 7th. That's going to be tough for them. A mental hit that they can't really see, but we can from our side of the feed. Look at how high Chapix and Tayson are as well. That's insane. And do they even pull the zone? That's a big question.
Yeah, that's going to be huge. Zone's pulling towards tilted, right? And so things are going to start really getting interesting in terms of traversing through some of those builds over there.
You see the blimp, Levin? I see the blimp, and I feel like it's going to be in play. Look at how high ground, or look at how high ground is. Like, I just feel like with the way pads work as well, this is going to get really, really unique.
Yeah, I'm sure Tayson, Chapix, they'll be thinking about that. Doing as much damage as they can. I'm sure they'll be looking to try to recycle that pad. They've got the chug splashes to re-up on the HP when that time comes. Juriki, though, on this side of your screen, they're being forced to play low ground and try and make their rotation in. They haven't got that luxury of a launch pad or a vehicle.
Drive-by.
You can see someone's just trying to get into their box. This is really awkward now. iDrop, Juriki needs your help. You need to get in there, help him out. He's such low HP. Hardfine doing so much to stop him. And iDrop's able to stay up for just a moment. Hardfine eventually goes down. iDrop will win the fight. But that's cost them so much in terms of timing and in terms of HP as well. They still do need to move on just that bit, but it's not going to be an easy path on this layer.
Shizo is down in 1st place. He's going to be taken out. Not sure if his teammate is still up and alive. Logan Mustache still providing that pressure. And yes, iDrop was just looking so good as a solo. Jerky shaking up inside that box. Look at Mustache and Malabuka, though. It just seems like they're playing in their own pocket dimension. So much space. It's peaceful. Meanwhile, Tayson and Chapix at war. Their entire home up top broken down, and they're up inside 2nd height now. So much invested, no metal for the moment, but the beams are still there. Tayson's going for it. They're under in terms of surge, is it? No, not even. It's just the pressure from the other team. They're getting their shields completely wiped and removed. Have to find some time to back off, play on the defensive and heal.
Of all the teams, you wouldn't have expected Tayson and Chapix to get awareness checked, but that's what happened, and so now they can't play height for the meantime. They're just going to have to stay below. The HP is so low, but we know they're comfortable regardless of the layer. We'll see how that develops. iDrop, though, on the bottom right of your screen, only has himself to fight in this game, and eventually he will fall. It won't be enough. They tried so valiantly, but they fell just before the finishing line, and so now Tayson and iDrop will take their places up on low ground. And as the zone continues to move back away from tilted, people are going to be fighting through their old builds as well as Yandy and Joe just on that 5th place slot. They need to stay in this one as much as they can. The longer they stay in, the better for their chances of going to the finals. That's Krusty and Relvis in front of them. Can they knock out some rivals?
Everyone does not want to go down. So many people still alive, 22 inside this zone, and we move way past city limits. We're going way past out to the suburbs. There's barely even any buildings to be able to hide behind all the way on low ground. Tayson and Chapix still moving in second place. I really want to see Ziandy's perspective. They're the ones in fifth. They're the ones right on the line. Malibuca in fourth are going to be in that position as well. Eighth place for Max 3 and Axe Force. They've done some crazy things in terms of just individual fights, and they're looking to just wrap things up still on the top side. Krusty and Relvis have taken over that first place slot, come at a huge cost as well, though, as they're low on materials, down on low ground. The asphalt all blown up. It's a nuclear war zone for the moment right now, and unfortunately they're gonna go down to the radiation. They are gone. Max still up top. Tayson taken out. Is he gonna have enough to stay in? It looks like it's Ziandy in fourth place currently. They're looking so good. They've survived up until this point. Ziandy taking a little bit of that mist and landing a few shots as well. Will this be enough? Will 161 hold is the question. He's still making it all the way in the zone. He finds his way in. A little bit more time to delay, but how much is left for him? Just 5 HP on that Met and Miss, 30 on the shields overall. Alex Squeeze also being taken out. Malibuca in third. Sixth place for Axe Force and Max 3. They need this win. They need the elims as well. Let's see what they can do. I saw a little bit of a point total there. 140 for them. They're so far back behind right now. I don't think it's even possible, but what a ride they had up until this point.
They're going to have to try their best. These last two eliminations won't be easy to get. Malibuca and Mustache doing their victory lap. 12 eliminations on the game already. This has been such a performance for them, such a climb. We knew all the struggles they had, all the battles they had to face, but they've taken it on the chin and they've moved through. And now, as the final fight breaks out, Max 3 will hit a huge shot. It's not the first time we've seen him do that today, but isn't going to be enough, like Shayo said. Now, in a 2v1, Malibuca, we've seen him win situations like this before, but if Axe Force and Max 3 can hit the kind of shots we've seen them hit, it'll be easy work. They're knocking him down. They're trying to force him to fight. And you can tell he doesn't want to. Doing some love taps here, just forcing them back down. Trying his best to stay alive in this one as much as he can. Forcing a mistake, if possible. But Maxi and Axe Force, they just got to stay composed, cool, calm, and collected, and keep trying to chop him out. 2 shotguns are better than 1. And you can see they're just going to keep it going, spraying relentlessly.
Another connect from Malibuca. I mean, this duo up top has been so good at just keeping control this entire game. He is 1v2ing with this pressure. They're gonna have to fall at some point to just having no materials whatsoever. Max 3 has a chance for some type of build off. One player already down. No way Malibuca does this again. There's just no way he does it. 1v2 in the 6th game of Qual 1. Malibuca, the GOAT. This man is just too much to handle.
Points. Here's our look at our overall standings. How are you guys feeling about that 6th place to 10th place? Pupa, I want to start with you.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the math. Like we mentioned, my math isn't my best suit, but I'm pretty sure Malibuca Merchants just took away Axe Force's and Max 3's qualification.
Take a few points. Forgive my math. I never learned how to read, write, or add. I'm just going to keep adding to this list, by the way.